Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys having a good start to your weekend. Happy Saturday. Got some pretty hot info here about some events that are happening at the start of next week. I wanted to share that with you guys here in this video. If you guys missed it, we do have some info in regards to the Web of Corruption, which is the upcoming big event from Plarium. It starts on I believe June 3rd. June 3rd, that would be Wednesday. And we also have the first fusion from the Web of Corruption campaign starting on June 4th, which is the Thursday. So before we jump into the upcoming news here for the start of next week, let's take a quick look here at Plarium Play calendar. You kind of see everything that is going on right now. We do have the Path of Power event is currently active. Is for He-Man's 5-star soul. I highly recommend you guys pass on this unless you guys really are desperate to power up your He-Man. And if He-Man is somehow the best champion on your account, then going for the 4-star blessing for him kind of makes sense. It's about 10 and a half Sacred Shards worth of points. But that's going on all weekend. We do have a Sand Devil event, and then we do have a tag team tournament happening also. So this event here that I'm going to share with you guys right now, I'm going to put it on screen, is going to be a event that starts on Monday. Anyway, so it's going to be Monday, June 1st. We're planning to launch a anniversary Deck of Fate event, guys. So immediately after the Heroes Path event for He-Man ends, we will have a Deck of Fate event. All right, guys. So keep that in mind when you guys are planning out your weekend and stuff like that. So what is going to be in this Deck of Fate? You'll get a chance to get rank 6 banner accessories from Reaction Gear Set and other goodies. So rank 6 banner accessories. All right. So rank 6 banners. What else? How are we going to get points for this amazing Deck of Fate, guys? We'll be able to earn points by upgrading champions. So it's going to be champion training and getting artifacts and accessories. So that's going to be gear hunters. There will be 6 common, 6 rare, and 5 epic cards. That's 17 banners in total. I guess that means 6 common. Okay, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, they explain it here. So the common cards will have 6 epic reaction banners. The rare cards will have 6 legendary banners, and then the epic cards will have 5 mythical reaction banners hidden underneath them. The faction and accessory stats hidden under each card are unknown. You'll be able to pin card rarity. So that gives you a little bit additional value here. So you got pin card rarity during this anniversary Deck of Fate, and the event will last 4 days. Will last 4 days. So it's pretty significant, like event, 4-day long. It's going to last until the fusion starts, or even even the first day of the fusion. It says 4 days. Fusion starts on the 4th. Now, how valuable really are these reaction pieces? So if you guys have been playing for a while, you guys would have been participating in a bunch of CVCs, and then you guys would have had the opportunity to perhaps win all your, a bunch of reaction accessories along the way. Now, in this event, it's just banners. So 17 banners is a lot of, effective CVC tournaments that you have to win. 17 banners is quite a bit in one event. So, if you think about it that way, it's like, yeah, it's pretty worth it, right? To get that many quality banners. They're all 6-star, quality banners. But really, how valuable is Reaction nowadays? Reaction has really never left like Arena. You always kind of find builds with them. Obviously, we don't use Reaction as often anymore, just because 9-piece sets exist. But even with Stone Skin, in Arena meta and all that, Reaction was still kind of being used in combination with Stone Skin, just to protect, Stone Skin champions from, ignore Stone Skin attackers, right? So you put reaction, pieces on that champion. Like, for example, I'll show you guys like my Ultimate Death Knight here. He is in 6-piece Stone Skin. And then he's also, geared out with 3 pieces of reaction. So what reaction does is it gives you a 25% chance to change a critical hit into a normal hit when attacked before your first turn. So it kind of gives you an opportunity to stay alive, or at least neutralize a big hit coming in. if you're planning to like go second, if you're planning to go after your opponent, it just makes sure that you don't sustain so much damage that they can kill you through Stone Skin. Like there's definitely some champions that can ignore Stone Skin. So reaction is very good at stopping those champions. But even though you have 3 accessories here, it's only a total of 75% chance to change a critical hit into a normal hit. So it's never guaranteed. Ultimate Death Knight I think I have some reaction pieces on Raphael. Yes, I do have 2 reaction pieces on Raphael. So that's 50% chance, right, of changing a crit into a non-crit. It just kind of keeps them alive a little bit, but that's about it. I don't really use reaction on a lot of different champions. And how relevant is it nowadays, especially with all the 9-piece sets flying around? So not only are we talking about using perhaps 2 or 3 piece sets, for example, just for the speed bonuses from like pinpoint, chronophage, like even if you want extra accuracy from using just 2 pieces of like Pharaoh accessories and all that. Or of course, using the accessory slots for Stone Skin. Now we have 9-piece Mercurial, right? 9-piece Mercurial builds. So the accessory slots are getting taken up by those sets and builds also. So it just seems like reaction, there's just no space for it. Reaction is still, very decent, but it just seems like there's no real space for reaction right now in really, really strong arena builds. But it doesn't mean that, it's out of the picture. Now, this event, I would say it is a skip for a lot of people because unless you're, really fishing hard for banners with high speed rolls, like you're just, min maxing, looking for the best of the best pieces, you're probably not going to benefit a lot from picking up a random banner, in a reaction set. A lot of the times, the reaction set is probably just slightly better than like a base, piece of accessory, right? So it's really for the end game players to have the ability to go for these resource intensive events like a Deck of Fate, fishing for basically perfect pieces. Now you get 17 banners. You have no idea what faction they're going to be in. You have no idea what kind of stats they're going to be in. Most likely, most of them are going to be trash. But if you have ors, you effectively can double that amount. So now you have 34 banners to roll with, right? If you have ors, and especially the 5 mythical pieces, you effectively have 10 mythical pieces if you have 5 ors. So it could be some value, but it's going to be really hard to roll anything really, really worthwhile. Now, the other thing that's kind of beneficial for this Deck of Fate is that, first of all, it's 4 days. So it gives you time to run down, 4 days worth of energy. So you're going to get some, extra points just by doing, just by being active in the game. You also have this pin rarity. So pin rarity is going to allow you to pick up a bunch of those big epic chests by basically connecting, 3 epic cards, after in a row or whatever. And then by pinning the highest rarity card that you flip, you can basically get all 3, and then you can unlock a chest of that highest rarity. So if you complete the entire deck, you're going to get a bunch of epic chests, and then you might get some good rewards from that. But to be honest, I'm not putting too much stock into these reaction accessories. I think this event is a total skip event, unless you plan on doing some kind of training, some kind of dungeon farming. It is during personal reward CBC, so that's something to consider as well. So if you're spending energy during personal reward CBC, you're going to get some additional credit for this Deck of Fate, which means you're going to have some extra flips. But I wouldn't go ahead and just specifically target this Deck of Fate. I would just collect whatever you can collect with all the residual stuff that you do in the game. Anyways, if you're building out a champion, then you're going to get some credit for it in this Deck of Fate. You're going to get some flips. If you're spending energy in a dungeon for CBC, for example, you're going to get some residual energy here. And get some points and credit for this Deck of Fate. So for me, it's a complete afterthought. Whatever I get from it, it's a nice little bonus for whatever I do already in the game. It's not something I'm really focused on, and I think that's just going to be the mentality for basically every single player, new player, progressing player, mid game, late game player. And I think unless you're like ultra end game with like tons and tons of resources, and you're basically just getting everything in the game anyways. This event is basically an afterthought, and you just skip it, and we'll wait for the Web of Corruption event to drop and the Fusion to drop mid and late next week, and we'll just save up for some of the events during that whole campaign. So just my 2 cents on everything, guys. Just a quick recap. We do have a Deck of Fate starting on Monday featuring reaction banners. Yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this. It feels slightly worse than the Glyph Deck of Fate that we had not too long ago. And we haven't had a guaranteed champion from a Deck of Fate in a while. I think the last one we had was Basim sometime in early February. So it's definitely been a while. But hey, they did say in the Web of Corruption campaign, there's going to be some guaranteed champions. So Deck of Fate most likely is probably where at least one will show up in. So looking forward to perhaps that happening sometime soon, hopefully. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.